to beat you up too. Trying to beat you up. Come downstairs. You know you in front of the courthouse trying to act like you're tough. Like, yeah, stop. Yeah, let's go around the corner. Let's go around the corner. Come on, let's go.
Turn around.
Like your mother's ugly?
Turn around.
Like your mother's ugly?
Same thing.
Oh, okay.
Same thing.
Oh, okay.
Just watch.
Yeah, okay. We could test her right now. Right now. Right now, ugly. Everything. Oh, you thought you was gonna see something ugly, bitch. You wasn't. But you wasn't. But you wasn't. But you wasn't. Same here. You see what's up? Same here. You see what's up? Oh, okay. So yeah, this raggedy ass fucking bitch Remy, like, girl, like you would have thought I did something to you. Realistically, I can never speak to my father again. I can never hug him. I can never kiss him. I can never say nothing else to him. You can see it, son. You can speak to him. You can hug on him. You can say whatever. The fact of the matter is that I see this fucking lady, and she's looking at me with a whole attitude. When I tell y'all ice grilling, as if her son was the victim. Like, miss, where's your remorse? Like, where's your sorriness? Where's your sadness? Like, at the end of the day, I don't care what I go through with nobody. I would never want to see nobody die. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, bitch, nobody did nothing to you, you fucking gremlin. And you really acting like you mad about something. Ice grilling somebody. Ugly ass. Then you acting tough in front of a courthouse. Like, bitch, we're gonna go to jail. You've been to jail before. I'm sure you don't want to go back, bitch. Like, what are we doing here? Come around the corner. You're really not fucking tough. Like, bitch is mad pussy. Like...
You know, I done watched that, I done watched this Remy Ma courthouse tape, or clip, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I done watched it like a bunch of fucking times, just over and over again on the fucking loop and shit. It's over and over again on the loop and shit. And I find that, I find myself laughing like a motherfucker. Okay, excuse my candor, excuse my blue language. This is my platform. I present how I feel at any given time and shit with basic common sense. Okay, basic common sense. Right? So like I'm watching that shit and I see Remy Ma fucking around at the courthouse, and I watched another content creator and it was pointing out like, what, she was so rich, like she said, how she was, ripping her husband. Like, where's the security team? And I thought to myself the same thing. Like, why don't she have like security? She at least have 1 or 2 guys there, like big guys, to keep it moving and shit. Keep it moving. That's all. She there with some, I think, that was her lawyer, the kind of rotund white woman that was there, and she got into it, a girl half her age and shit. She running down the motherfucking steps, holding her dress. That's the most feminine I've ever seen her behave, even in her thuggery. Running down those stairs to have a fight with a girl half her age, a girl young enough to be her motherfucking daughter and shit. I just laughed my ass off. She all like, whoop my ass. And I'm just looking at this shit, and I watched the resultant video with the girl speaking on it and shit. And I just look, it's another masculine chick, man. And, my condolences to her father who lost his life because he was murdered by Remy's son. Alright? That shit will not go unmentioned. I feel bad for any loss of life and shit, but I got to think to myself. The first thing came to my head after I was looking at this shit for a minute, I thought about Papoose. I thought about it. I was like, motherfucker, you didn't want to dodge that bullet, so the Most High had to come down and kick you up your ass to Clarissa Shields, so that you could get out of the way of this chick, so she can continue her journey to fuck herself up. Okay, and I don't give a shit. I don't fuck with Remy Ma like that, okay? I don't fuck with her, Now, I only liked her when she was featuring on other people's shit, just barely, okay? I'm not really tripping on Remy Ma shit. She doing what she do, okay? She's showing who she is. We all know who she is, and I think the man upstairs wants her to find out who she is up close and personal with herself. And she's gonna be looking in a scratched up mirror and shit in a room wide enough only for her shoulder width, spiritually speaking. Okay? Yeah, I'm listening to these women talking to each other and shit. Hey, hey y'all. I told y'all I'm 56 and shit, and I've been around, mostly on the West Coast for the last 29, 30 years and shit, give or take six. Yeah, you know, I, I've been around, okay? I've been with some chicks that kind of masculine chicks. And I've had some studs come up to me and proposition and shit. Like, ones that you would actually do it with and shit. A couple of that you wouldn't, that we just laughed off and said, okay, motherfucker, I've had to fight you. We had to go 100 rounds of Irish boxing. You have to take this deep. I'm listening to these women talking to each other, and I'm listening to the daughter talking about Remy Ma, and, their altercation. I'm not like thinking about Papoose and shit and how he seemed to like these thugger little chicks. I'm not talking about Clarissa Shields, but she is masculine and she's man enough to protect him from Remy and shit physically if she has to. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to. Like, who out there wants to be dating some chick that act more like a dude than you do and shit? Like, she wearing Fruit of the Looms and shit. She wearing boxer briefs with the dick hole in the front. Like, who the fuck? I always hated those panties that look like dudes' underwear and shit. The social engineering is off the fucking charts. It's off the charts. Who the fuck wants to date a woman act like a nigga? I done seen a ton of women like that. That's why, like, it shocked me back in the old days, like my late 20s, early 30s, and had some studs coming at me and shit. Like, hey, on the down low, why don't you let me come behind the door? We could go somewhere to an hourly and get our thing on. I'm like, hey, ain't you a nigga? Ain't you a stud and shit? Okay? And make no doubt about it. Some of them studs they'll fuck your shit off. Okay? Then we walk out in a stutter step with some sagging pants and shit and some Timberlands on. Like, who the fuck wants that? I just look at Papoose, man. Like, he can never get out of that shit. I can never see Papoose like with some feminine, demure woman and shit. Right? And I look at Remy and shit, and I look at her mugshot. And, like, she, right now she got some. It's just a chick with a wig on and some enhancement. Okay? She got enhancement and shit, but she just a bum bitch. Like, when she run down the stairs, holding the hem of her dress to have a fight, she was really gonna chunk it out with the chick. She was gonna get her motherfucking ass whooped. Because that girl would have whooped her ass. The girl's younger than her and got righteous indignation because her father was murdered. And get her fucking ass whooped and shit. And if the stupidest male would get in between those two women and shit. Men that don't give a fuck, real men, would just let them chunk it out. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm human enough, maybe I'll call the 911 and shit. And I call the non-emergency line and tell them it's a bitch laying out here on the street. Think it's Remy Ma laying out there. I don't think she could have handled that young girl. Okay? I don't give a fuck how long she was in jail. She committed her crime with a weapon. Alright? She don't know who she fucking with. And you don't know fucking with somebody who's your son killed their daddy. A weird looking son. I'm like, hey, why does her son look like a trans woman or something? Was he a trans? I don't know. Somebody hit me up in the comment section. I just made this shit up off the, I just came with a commentary and shit, man. I was looking at that fucking clip, and I was just thinking to myself, man, what's that other one? Tiana Taylor and shit, I think's the name. They've been linking up with this other dude, that weird looking dude with the stone face. Yeah, like just another dude shit. Like, I don't want to be with some bitch that carry herself like a dude. Okay, I want to be with a woman that act like a fucking woman. I ain't talking about these chicks with these, just like hoes and shit. With that hooker talk. I don't want to hear any of that shit. All that shit fly right out the window. Once I hear that shit, it's a reality show. Okay, I'll treat you how you want to be motherfucking treated and shit. I don't have a perfect flying record and shit, but the last couple of years before I got married, I had a perfect flight record. I ain't never cheated on nobody but one bitch. And she had to get me into it. She kept, demonstrating how to cheat. And she was not masculine. Okay? I just can't do it, man. I dated a bitch that, she acted like a stud. She was attractive and she acted like a stud and shit, but she didn't act as rough as these chicks, man. Listen to the fucking dialogue. This chick saying shit like, old girl was ice grilling and shit. I don't know nothing. I guess that's a New York thing. I'm from the Chi, and I lived in the West Coast and shit. They got some studs in the West Coast, man. Everybody got some studs, man. The West Coast stud is different than the East Coast stud. Like, you see some chicks that, like, I've been out with some women that got a police record as long as I'm tall. I'm over 6 feet. And they was more feminine than, you know, the chicks in, Remy Ma and this bitch, man. I'm serious. Look, y'all some chicks with fucking records. Latina and the fucking black chick and shit, man. And they ain't do all that thug shit. And then when it's time to go out, they show up like, like in a dress and, you know, looking good, look like at least looking like ready for a porn shoot or something. Ah man, missed those years, man. There's a smile on my fucking face and a notch on my belt. It's 4th of July. It's bust down Friday. I'm tripping. Don't listen. Looking at this shit. Remy Ma doing a stutter step, man. She doing a sideways stutter step down that stairs. I'm like, I wish that bitch was down there waiting for your ass and clip the fuck out of you. And she was trying to film her face. Remy Ma's like, hey, look this way. Look at the camera and shit. I'm like, hey, I thought you were a bad bitch, man. What, she should just have a blinky on her. She should have a conceal and carry, right? Because she's a convicted felon. She can't have no fucking loaded weapon. Where's her thugs? She ain't got no security. Don't she know some criminals or something that can help her out? Man, she called Fat Joe's coon ass. His cinnamon cookie kingpin looking motherfucker. Why don't she call him up or call some of the homies? What's easy to block captains? They'll knock off Timu Papoose and shit. Where's that nigga at? Maybe she can send him over there, usually a chick like Remy, I'm gonna tell you, like, I've seen some tough bitches, okay? A chick like Remy, I look at her, man, like she started a fight with some chick, and you're there, and you're like easy to black champion or whatever his nigga name is, Timu Papoose. She gonna tell him to hey, handle that for me, man. It's a chick, man. Handle that for me, man. And then when he look at the chick gonna start blabbing. The other chick gonna start blabbing. Hand talking him and shit. Getting ready to fuck him up because he a dude and shit. Don't expect to get her ass whooped and shit. And Remy gonna grab that easy ass by his biceps from the back and shove him forward into the bitch. Use him as a human projectile. And when he hit that bitch, she gonna reach around that and clip that old girl in the face and shit. And then come on around and just start chunking out and shit, Because she don't look like she play fair and shit. She like a dirty chick. I seen a lot of the motherfuckers, man. Okay? I treat them how they want to be treated. Alright? Treat them how they want to be treated. I just, I really don't know who want to be going out with some chick that carry themselves like a dude, man. This hard as fuck. You can't talk to them. They look like they ready for a fucking fight. Like you want to take them to dinner. They want to go to a fucking gym and like a boxing gym and get in the ring and shit. They kick your shoes off and they're like, hey, get in here. The chick got a chip on her shoulder. Got issues. I don't later on in life, man. When I was getting older, I'm not going out with some chick that need therapy. Some chick with a chip on her shoulder. Some got a mad face. She's pretty, but she looked angry as fuck. She got like the Hugh Jackman Wolverine look shit from that Logan movie. I don't want to go out with no chick like that. I don't want to, a downer, I don't like these hard bitches. I'm not going to try to, talk out of being a, one to, lick the stamp or whatever. Fuck. God damn, man. I'm so sorry. This is I guess, I didn't attempt to be this, I don't know if I'm being humorous or, I don't know how this shit sound. I assure you I have not taken one drink. Oh shit, I'm getting high off the absurdity of a celebrity getting upset enough to do a stutter step down the court steps and, ready to have a fight and shit. The young girl was saying, you just acting like that because you're in front of these cameras. I'll whoop your ass. Shit. In New York speak, man, I really had to, I listened to the clip so many times eventually just to figure out what the fuck they were talking about when they were saying all this New York, whatever the fuck language that shit is. And I think, man, I don't know if Remy a Tesla and shit, and the other chick sound like some kind of fucking Tesla or something. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? What the fuck is ice grilling? What's that mean? Okay, is that like staring at somebody? That mad, we called that shit mad dogging back in the day. Writing a check, motherfucker. These kids, these young children these days, man, they come up with the weirdest things. They say the weirdest things. I'm 56. I'm an elder statesman of supposed ethnic black community and shit. You used to have to give me a pass about that shit. I've been around the block a couple of times, and I can tell you I don't want to be with some bitch that's like, I'm walking down the street, you know, let's say if I'm an immature motherfucker, I'm walking down the street a certain kind of way, holding my crotch, and then I look on, she holding her crotch too and shit. And she walk away a stutter step. She had her jeans sagging, and you hear a police car and the bitch take off and shit because she got packs till November. I'm just left. All right, let me stop tripping this shit. Before I go, yeah, I nugget this shit. I actually made a video about this something like a couple of years ago and shit. I made a video. I gotta share the little snippet. Man. I went on a date with a masculine chick. She had a pretty face, okay? She had a pretty face, but she was sexually ambiguous below the neck and shit, okay? She had a kick-ass body. But like I went on a what you would call a date with her to the Chinese theater. And she showed up looking like an ass garbage. I showed up for a date. She showed up like she just got through working at the movers. Like she just got off the mechanic shop or something. And they showed up to this shit. She invited me on this shit. And we went to go to a movie, and there was a clown out there giving motherfucking couples these balloon animals. And the motherfucking clown gave me the balloon animal instead of her. When he looked at her, he figured I was the more feminine of the two. You know how offensive that is? And I probably should have wanted to whoop that clown's ass all over Hollywood, all over the Walk of Fame and shit. But I looked at old girl and, you know, just a bus. And we went on this date, and it was a disastrous date. It just sucked ass. And I avoided her and shit. The next time I saw her, some clothes came off, but I didn't even hit it because I was too motherfucking real. I was just like, man, you know, if I hit this shit, I'm being a codependent, fucked up relationship. And then, you know, other than what she looked like with no clothes on, she wasn't shit. Okay? She wasn't shit. I don't want to go into it no further. Alright? I just want to say, you know, goddamn. I didn't think about Papoose, man. And I think about Remy Ma, man. She want her cake and she want to eat it too. She want to go through life with no motherfucking consequences, acting like an asshole. And, you know, Papoose ain't there no more. So eventually she gonna get what she looking for out there. She'll get exactly what her son gave his victim and shit. And she keep this shit up. And ain't nobody gonna give a fuck. There's just some people making videos about it. Like I'm making a video about her looking like a total ass clown, an ass hat or whatever the fuck. Ice grilling outside the courthouse and shit with no security. Like just some fat white lady that may or may not be an attorney. I mean, she look like a paralegal or something. That white chick was like trying to stop. Like, oh, don't do that. Like whispering that she don't do that. That young girl gonna beat your ass. You know, and then I see the lady behind the wheel in the car, she's attractive and everything. But when she opened her mouth, the garbage that was coming out, I could barely understand the shit. And it's not because I'm old as fucking shit. I'm just like, man, fuck that. I don't want to fuck that bitch neither. I'd be scared. You know, I'd be like, man, I gotta see your test result, my nigga. You know? I gotta look down there. Hey, when you take your panties off before we do it, give me your panties. I want to look down the inside of shit to see if there's a skid mark in the bitches. And if I see a skid mark in there, like a straight up duty skid mark, I'm out. If I smell some fucked up shit, I'm out. If I look at the box and I can see some shit peeking out, look like fucking eyeballs, some shit like that movie, The Thing, I'm out. I feel bad for you and young dudes, man. You know, back in those days, we could take a chance, like, you know, hooking up with shit. You hook up with a young girl nowadays and shit, you be kissing on her or whatever, you know, everything going right. How you know she ain't had her mouth on somebody's ass, eating groceries and doing all kind of shit? How you know she ain't made a ghetto gaggers video? How you know she ain't out in front of the court ice grilling with Remy Ma? Oh shit.
Hey, y'all feel that? Hey, bro, I know you ain't looking at these. You fruity or something?
Pause,
fruity?
Nobody even going that way.
I know these yams is looking delectable, but fuck with me, you gon' starve, bro. Yeah, this ain't for you, bro. We grown ass men, we late pipe, period.
No disrespect.
Yeah, you want this? You don't want none of this? You loot ass ass motherfucker.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, bet, 'cause you wasn't getting none anyway, bruh.